So you're thinking about moving to Houston, Texas. Well, I think you're going to be able to relate to me to this video because I've not only moved to Houston, Texas once, but I've done it twice now. There was a huge draw to bring me back here, and I am a Northwest kid. So to move from the Northwest to the South is a huge move. So wherever you're coming from, this video is really going to help you relate and understand what it was like to move to Houston, Texas, coming from out of state, because I will be talking about the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything I've learned from my 2 times of living right here in Houston, Texas. If you want to know that information, stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Jackson Wilkie with the Real Agent Now Group right here in Houston, Texas. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to learn all about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, those pros and cons of Houston, Texas, make sure you tap that little subscribe button and click the little bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. We are getting calls, emails, texts every single day from people moving and relocating here to Houston, and we absolutely love it. If you're moving from anywhere and you are moving anywhere in Houston, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, weekends. We got your back when moving to Houston, Texas. All right, so what was the big draw? Why did I come back? Well, I got to jump into this story a little bit, and I think it's going to help you, again, to relate if you're thinking about making this move here to Houston from wherever. So the one thing about Houston, Texas, and this will jump right into the pros, and I'm going to be really honest, brutally honest about, our time here, the good, the bad. But one of the things I love about Houston was back in 2009 when, we were coming out of that recession. In fact, we were still in the heart of it. I'm a Northwest kid from North Idaho, up by the Canadian border. If you've ever heard of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that's right where I was living. So not only have I lived there, but I've also lived over in Portland, Oregon area. So definitely a Northwest kid. But in 2009, we got devastated by that recession. And when you think about those Northwest areas, Portland's a little bit more corporate structured, but a lot of these areas, and not only just the Northwest, they get hammered when the economy starts to tank, per se. So I came here in 2009. It was the most booming city I'd ever seen in my life. There were more people moving here than I'd ever seen, and there were jobs galore. I was working 6-7 days a week in those times, and what I was doing was my journeyman lineman apprenticeship. So I came down here from North Idaho and did my apprenticeship. So when it comes to jobs, it's endless. Now you have the energy corridor, you have all of the oil rigs down south, so there's a lot of those type of jobs. So when it comes to health, for health professionals, there's endless jobs here, but you have Baker Hughes, you got Halliburton. There are some giant companies. In fact, I was reading, there are, we're in the top 4 for the most Fortune 500 companies in the entire nation. So jobs here in 2009, booming. I could work as much or as little as I absolutely wanted. And so that gave me a lot of comfort, both times that we've come here, that, hey, there's a lot of jobs here. But now I get to work wherever I want. So that is really what made us move here the second time. I'll get into that later. So the job structure here is going to be spot on. And then with the cost of living, it's unbelievable. So coming from the Northwest, the last move we did coming from Portland, we sold our little townhome. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath townhouse, like 1,300 square foot for $400,000. So what that gets you here, the house we're in now is in the mid 300s. It's got a giant pool. It's on a golf course. Now, I sound like I'm fancy or rich, but it's so affordable here in the 300,000s. So you get so much more for your money here in Houston, Texas. So now we'll reel back and I'll really start diving into these pros and the cons of living in Houston. So let's start with the cons, the things from being out of state, really what triggered us when we got here, or what really affected us, I guess. And number one, it's hot. Now, let me talk about the heat for a second, because I used to, back in 2009, 2010, have to work outside. In fact, wearing rubber gloves, sleeves, and it was brutal. The actual fear and danger of work every day was not working with 20,000 volts of electricity. It was of dehydration, and they call it falling out. So you really had to monitor that. I've realized I'm a little bit more thirsty when I'm here in Houston. So right now it's September. We just got out, it's brutally hot. So that means a few things. One, your power bill is going to skyrocket. I'm paying right now, it's over 3,000 square foot house, right around the 225 to 250 a month for my bill. I think that's, pretty expensive. But when you think about the size, this is 3 times bigger than the house we had before. We have a pool going, but we got older air conditioning units too. So those are something that's a cost that I'm probably going to have to look into here in the future. But those things are humming. They are working like crazy around the clock. So that's a personal problem. That's a me problem. But I'm definitely going to have to work on those AC units because during the day it gets so hot, I can't even keep the house, under about 74, 75 degrees. So it gets a little bit warm. If you ever see me sweating, that's why. That's a huge con, is that heat during the summer. It's a killer. But now living here, there's about 8, 9 months of the year. Unbelievable. I mean, I've seen like 2 weeks out of the year, maybe January, February, where you get like that 30-degree temperature. So that is a con. When you get like 30 degrees here, they actually put warnings out, like freeze warning. And I was like, I'm from North Idaho, man. There's like 5 feet of snow, for 5 months. This can't be nothing. But with that humidity, and it gets down to 30, 25 degrees, oh my gosh, it's cold. It's like freezing rain coming at you. In fact, I recall working some ice storms back in the day, from Oklahoma here, anywhere. And when that ice comes, when the freezing temperatures and, the wind coming off of the coast, it can just start building up ice on your windows and stuff. So it can be dangerous, and this city is not meant for any type of snow. Snow happens like every 5 to 7 years, but if it does, the town 100% shuts down. It's just not made for it. Where I'm from, I mean, during the winter months, if it's 5 feet of snow, you still drive 5 miles over the speed limit. So the temperatures, although you get that 8 to 9 months of just unbelievable, especially once October hits, October, November, 80 degrees, you're still out using the pool. I mean, it's unbelievable. The golfing, just a lot of outdoor activities. That was one more con that I saw coming here. In the Northwest, maybe where you're coming from, summers are what you look forward to. You have the incredible summers. In the Northwest, we have the boating and everything. Here, that's when most people are indoors. It's too freaking hot to go out. So, having things to do, there's so many master plan communities around here with, indoor shopping malls with a lot of splash pads and pools. So whether you're looking for acreage, whether you're looking for that new community, there's all of those here. But, finding something to do during the summertime can be brutal. Or if you're having that outside job, it's going to be hot, like really hot. But hey, I did it. You can do it too. All right, so this is the next thing that really caught us, and that's the bugs. So I'm gonna tell you right now, especially during the summer months, the bugs can eat you alive. Now, we found out through some research, and we don't know if it's 100% true. My wife looks like she's playing goalie for a dart team, literally just like bumps everywhere. She gets attacked. She got bit by a fire ant the other day on her ankle, and for 2 days, her foot swelled up like so big. She's just getting over that. So that's something. Me and my son, we don't really get affected by them. We get like little red bumps, but she found out that type O people, blood type, they are the ones that the mosquitoes and basically the mosquitoes are the most attracted to, and she is type O. So we're kind of putting these pieces together. We got more DEET and more spray than you. I mean, we are like a bug repellent house. So if you are type O or allergic to some of the bugs, they're gonna get you. But for the most part, me, my son, my daughter, I got a whole litter of kids. We're not too affected. You'll get some bumps and bites here, but the cockroaches, that was something we weren't used to. And this really depends on the area you're at. If we're up closer to like the Lake Houston area and big old wooden, big old growth trees. And apparently the roaches around here are a little worse than some areas, but just know you're going to see them, and you're basically going to see them everywhere. So we have actually the Orkin Man come. He's $150 and he comes and sprays. One time he'll come the next month and spray, and then every other like 2-3 months they come and they spray, and it's actually really reduced it. Rarely do we see them, but yes, we actually have the cockroaches here in your house. So it's something that you really got to get used to. And you talk to all your neighbors, like, yeah, they're just roaches. It is what it is. They're gross, dude. They like spit up this stuff and they poop. They're just nasty little creatures. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, really, and you start to get used to that. So we don't really see them anymore. We've done the things to really get rid of those. All right, so I don't want to make you not want to move here. Just wanted to talk about those. I think a lot of times these videos people can really talk about, just all the good things, but why not be honest? We help so many people move and relocate here and find their dream home. And so I love the honesty. That's something that I wish I had when we moved here. But first of all, if you're loving these videos, please tap that subscribe button. Comment down below real quick your question. I'm always monitoring those and I can answer those. And they make good video titles. All right, so let's get into the pros. Like, why the heck did I come back? I love the freaking culture here. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than the Southern culture. You can literally be driving down the road, help somebody fix their flat tire, and they're gonna invite you to their barbecue. You're gonna meet like 3 of their uncles. They're gonna invite you to their barbecues, their crawfish boils. Everybody here is so freaking nice. In fact, the funny thing is when I talk to people, maybe you're coming from the Northeast, they're a little too friendly. We were just talking to a guy yesterday and he's like, yeah, man, I'm from New York. And I don't know if I like all these people. Hey, good morning. Hey, how are you? I just like to stay to myself. So to me, that's what we love. We love entertaining. We love meeting new people. All right, so I have to tell this story because when we first moved in, we wanted to meet people right away. Again, my wife and I, we're entertainers. We love, meeting new people. And we were coming home from an anniversary dinner, actually, with all our kids. And there was some neighbors out just right down the street over here, bunch of them. The golf carts, which I love about this, you'll see all these teenage kids, all the high schoolers riding golf carts around, going to their buddy's house. It's so much fun. But they were out hanging out, having some brewskis. And I said, hey, Jill, we're going. We're going to walk by. We're going to act like we're going to go feed the turtles down there. But we're going to just go say hi. So we walk down and we're kind of getting nervous. Oh my gosh, should we do this? Should we do this? Hey, what's up, guys? We're new here. Hey, come on in. Come. Hey, you need a beer? You need something? Just like that. There was no awkward. And that night we spent 4 hours with them in their garage talking. Now we're inseparable. They had a 8-year-old son just like my son. So they're best buddies now and love it. I'm meeting all my neighbors now. They come walking by. They stop. They talk to you. I don't know. It's just super important to me, but I always love that story. It's just, we told each other, hey, we need to go do this, and it was one of the best things that ever happened. We were so excited we did it. But yes, people are going to be open friendly. Get out there and go meet people. And you'll never run out of that here. All the neighborhoods are super tight. You drive through, and I'm talking more neighborhoods. There's so much property around here too, and I see a lot of fun gatherings, big barbecue pits and pools. But these master plan communities in these neighborhoods, you drive down the road and there's so many people in their garages with a big old plasma screen. They got a bar in there. They got their golf cart. They got, all this fun stuff. And I mean, immediately, just by taking a walk down the street, you're going to probably get approached by a couple of people, meet friends like that. We're getting, going to our schools. The schools are amazing. We're loving the schools here. They're very safe, by the way. They are actually at our school, elementary, all our kids are there. They won't even let your kids out of the building until you've come around in your car. The coolest thing, the biggest pro of all time, we're in a golf course community. We get to drive our golf cart to the school. They have its own little golf cart spot. So that's actually pretty popular around here. In fact, 4th of July parades and big events, you'll usually see people driving golf carts. But we love that culture and that people are just so open and inviting. It was kind of like that up in the Northwest. We're, definitely nice and friendly, but I've just never seen anything like it when it comes to the South. All right, so now let's talk about the biggest pro, and that's just the affordability. So I came from, obviously last time I came from Portland, Oregon, but, I'm from North Idaho. We have state income tax there, and here you do not. So now, I'm, own my own business because I do real estate. And some marketing, and I established my business here, so no state income tax. There's definitely some benefits to that because I'm used to basically saving 10-12% of my paycheck, 20% to the feds and another 10 to 12% for my state taxes. So that is a huge plus. And when you're talking about working on your own, self-employed, whatever, saving 10 to 12%, in any job period is an incredible amount of money. Now, yes, you're gonna get hammered. If you've looked at property taxes, you're like, holy crap, what is up with those? Well, yes, you can get hammered with the property tax. So that is kind of the con of, living here in Houston, Texas. Harris County, I've looked on the calculator and we've helped so many people in different cities. I've seen it as low as 0.67% of the assessed value all the way up to 2.5%. That's down in Pearland area. So where I'm at, it's actually pretty expensive, around 2.1, 2.2%. So, I mean, You're talking on a $300,000 house, you're going to be spending anywhere $63,000 to $7,000 a year on property taxes. But I will tell you the offset of having no state income tax or vehicle tax is a huge bonus. But yes, definitely if you're wondering about those property taxes, they are definitely pretty skyrocketed here. I was used to like 1% basically up in the Northwest. All right, so the other thing that I absolutely love about Houston is just endless things to do. You got so many pro sports teams. You got Galveston. Like, that's what we loved, and that's why I love like the Houston area compared to Austin and San Antonio and those areas. We're right next to Galveston. Even living up in the northeast side of Houston, it's like a 30, 45-minute drive to head down to Galveston. Man, you cruise down there, you hit the seawall. It's like 30 miles of all these restaurants and bars and surf shops. The water is super warm up in the Northwest, especially Portland. We go to the coast, you couldn't even get in the water. It was so cold. So we love Galveston. We love being close. I'm a big hunting, fishing fool. My family is too. So, to live, right next to National Forest, have all the deer hunting, hog hunting, anything really close. And then to have Galveston, there's lakes everywhere. There's even ponds. Like, there is bass fishing on all these golf course ponds, little bayous. It is unbelievable. In fact, we love riding just right around the corner here. There's this bayou that feeds into Lake Houston. Turtles galore. I mean, you can see up to 100 different turtles at one time. So my kids are like, always, let's go feed the turtles. Let's go feed. So we just ride our bikes or our golf cart down there, start throwing bread, and you just see piles of turtles. So we love it. Like, for outdoors enthusiasts, if you love that, it's endless in Houston. And that is definitely the biggest pro for us. Why we love it down here is, that affordability, but being close to all of your hunting, your fishing, your outdoor activities. I got neighbors in these like four-wheeling clubs. Dude, these guys got like 36-inch, 42-inch tires and snorkels on their four-wheeler, and they have these huge clubs. Probably be getting into that. Now, with there being so much to do in Houston, it's endless. Like, honestly, there's so much to do. The other thing that I really love is that there, like, in any direction, there's other giant cities. Going to San Antonio and hitting the Riverwalk was one of the most enjoyable things. We'll definitely be doing that again. And the Alamo, that whole just atmosphere down there. Literally, you take these boats and you cruise the river right through San Antonio and you learn the history. It's so much fun. Austin, Texas in itself is just so many different breweries and night. It's more like the nightlife area. It's a little bit more expensive, obviously, over there too, but there's a lot to do. My personal favorite, what I love doing, is going to New Orleans, that is. So yes, we're so close to New Orleans. In fact, I mean, you can drive over there, but I love flying. The tickets are less than $100, and going and staying down at the French Quarter and heading down and getting your beignets in the morning, seeing the Mississippi River, and just watching the street performers at night. Every single night, they literally shut the streets down, and there's the most top-notch street performers I've ever seen. They say that, like, good people go to Vegas to get crazy. Well, crazy people go to New Orleans to get crazier. That's just what I've heard. But honestly, the street performers, and it's super safe if you're down in that French Quarter area, and very enjoyable. And then they have all these incredible, like, alligator tours. Man, we took this boat in this, like, bayou, and, you've heard of the Marie Laveau and the witchcraft stuff. Well, there's these old, like, trapper alligator camps. I don't even know. They're like cabins in the swamp. Can't even believe people live in there. Because my biggest con of Texas, of New Orleans, is the snakes. I can't do snakes. Even these little ones, it seems like they're all poisonous and going for my neck. I'm not a snake guy, and there's lots of snakes. At least I don't see them really ever in these neighborhoods. But yeah, the gator tours, New Orleans, San Antonio, go up to Dallas, even Oklahoma City isn't far. Like, there is so much to do, and that's actually one of the things I love about moving. I've moved a few times. I lived in my old hometown in North Idaho for so long, and we just got kind of complacent. We just did the same things or didn't do really much at all. So moving, doing a new thing, I'm telling you right now, is going to be one of the most difficult things you've ever done if you haven't, but at the same time, the most rewarding. Get out there and enjoy things. Get out there and see things. That's what I love about Houston. And the best part is everybody's so friendly here. They're going to tell you the cool spots to go, and you're going to meet radical people wherever you go. Now, there is another con that can be split. It's right down the middle of a pro and a con. Sorry, I meant a pro, not a con. And it's the endless amounts of food. In fact, Houston is definitely known as one of the top foodie cities. But what I'm really finding out, a lot of that is more center located close to downtown, like the Galleria, the Heights, anything that's, uptown, midtown, those type of areas, or just downtown Houston. That's where you're going to find like the super unique flavors. And let me tell you, it's absolutely incredible what you can find down there. Now, there's food that stretches out all the way around the belts. You got all the different belts, 8, 99, 610. there's food everywhere. But once you get out more into the communities and into the suburbs, you're going to find a lot more like chain stuff. You won't find as much unique besides the Cajun. Like you're always going to find good seafood and Cajun and barbecue joints, which don't get me started on barbecue. That's my favorite thing we'll be talking about. But you know, if you want some of those really unique ties and I mean, you'll find them out here, but it's just not. I come from Portland, Oregon area where that's what it is. There really isn't any chains around there. It's just strictly food. But you do have so many James Beard winning chefs around here. And the food scene is unbelievable. The beer scene is really starting to pick up. I love my brewskis. Like, I just love brewskis. I used to be just a Coors Light, Natural Light, Keystone Light, like a light beer drinker until I went to the Portland area and I really got hooked on IPAs. So if you love those IPAs, those breweries, they are really starting to pick up here. I mean, there are a lot of them. St. Arnold's is right downtown. It's the oldest brewery here. They have the most badass outdoor entertainment. It's like the size of a football field. It's the biggest one in the Houston area. I think it's in Texas too. The biggest outdoor patio area, super kid friendly. So it's really starting to grow. You're seeing that starting to come over from the Austin area. So I love my IPAs. In fact, you have Specs. Specs, if you haven't heard of that, is like a Walmart-sized superstore of your beers and your brewskis, your wines, your liquors. So they have those all over the place. Real quick, compared to Portland, Oregon, where they have all the individual beer sales where you can just grab individual ones. Here it's more like 6-pack, 12-pack-ish, but they're really starting to get good with the different styles. All right, so let's dive into just how many people are here, the traffic. I'm self-employed and I don't usually get myself into the traffic. Yes, it can be brutal. I have been caught in it, anytime headed, on 45, north, south, any of the 59s, which if you look on the map and you're seeing 69, the OGs, it used to be 59. In fact, it's still painted on the freeways as 59/69. But yes, they can get backed up big time. But what they've done, and this is the big pro of having a huge city like this that's not right on the Gulf of Mexico, is that we're called the Beltway City. So like you have the 610, that's a free one. Then you have Beltway 8, that's the middle big one. And that is a toll road, except for there's one section, thankfully, up by me on the northeast side that's free. But basically that is going to be a toll. You're going to get an express pass and you just put it on your windshield. It dings you every time. But there's the brand new brand new 99 tollway. So that's the new one that you see coming from basically up north, like the Woodlands area, all the way down to Sugar Land. And they're continuing that. So as this place explodes with growth, they have the room and the infrastructure to build these giant belts, these huge freeways that frees up traffic. So that is a huge pro. But at the same time, there's a lot of freaking people here. And I'm telling you, I mean, the traffic can be brutal. That's one of our specialties. That's why we love doing these videos and showing you what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play in all these areas, is so that we can place you in the perfect spot so that you're not stuck in traffic. Because I'm telling you right now, looking at like the Humble, it's pronounced Humble, even though on the map on the northeast side it says Humble, it's Humble. So that to the Woodlands looks like it's like a 10-15 minute drive. It's like 40 minutes every time. There's not a lot of like back roads usually to get to these areas. So you usually got to kind of head down to a beltway and then back up a main highway. So to get like from the northeast side where I'm at all the way over to Katy, Texas with no traffic is an hour, easily an hour. And that's like 80 miles an hour. So I mean, this city's freaking huge. On the map, it doesn't look as far, but when we were coming here and touring and looking at all these neighborhoods, we were just like, oh my gosh, like this is so far from that area that we like. On the map, it just seems so close, but it's not. So definitely reach out, at these areas. We can kind of pinpoint what your lifestyle is, but importantly enough is just finding where, if you have to work at a certain location, if you're not working from home, we want to make sure we get you close to that. All right, so the traffic here in the distances can definitely be a con. Sometimes it's just so dang far, but I'm going to tell you one of the biggest pros about moving to Houston. Right now, it's September 2020. Things could change, but this whole year, for a while, it's actually been so cheap for gas. I was at Costco the other day and filled up, and I got a Toyota Tundra with a 38-gallon tank. It's thirsty as hell. $1.58 a gallon. $1.58. Like the average price around here is right around $1.60, $1.70. So gas is so cheap here that, I mean, if you are traveling, for work, you can stretch that out a little bit, and you're not going to get just killed with the gas bills. And I've seen there's a lot of programs out there where you can do carpooling and stuff. So if somebody's driving, they'll pick somebody else up. Very popular around here. But gas prices, unbelievable. I want to transition into something real quick, though. It's a pro and con, and that's the weather. Something you definitely, I want to prepare you for coming here if you're not used to it. First of all, they're a little more rare, but there has been some tornadoes around here, not big ones, compared to, I've worked some of the tornadoes up in like Arkansas and Oklahoma. It's just devastating. But as you know, we do get hurricanes. In fact, we just had one come through, Laura. It was just last week. So I'm a Northwest kid. There is no tornadoes, there's no hurricanes, there's no nothing like that. You might have a strong windy day, but the hurricanes are a real deal here. And, Harvey came, and what it did is it came in from the coast and then it just stopped. And that's why all the flooding and stuff happened. But the hurricanes here, Laura just missed us. It was coming right for Houston, and then it veered up to the north and actually split Houston and New Orleans and went right up the center. So unfortunately, it devastated some smaller towns, but the benefit and what the mayor said is that, really dodged a bullet by not hitting the major cities. So you got to watch out. I mean, the hurricane is definitely something. If you're going to be coming here, I would definitely look into, having the full-time generator off the side of your house or getting a big generator. And do not wait until it's hurricane season or there's a hurricane coming like I did. I waited, unbelievably. So I bought a generator, had one for like 8 years, and like whenever, a while back, 2 years ago, I moved here and I sold it because I didn't think I'd need it. Well, I needed it because that hurricane was coming the other day. So I went to every store, called everybody. They were all out of generators. So don't get caught up. When you come here, get yourself some kind of generator, get 5-10 gallons of gas, get some stabilizer in there, and just be prepared, if something were to happen. So, but the other thing about the weather is, the rain. I'm used to the Northwest Portland. It sucked, man. Sometimes 1, 2, 3 weeks straight, it would just be gray. Like you had to take vitamin D pills. It didn't really bug me. I was from there. I didn't know any better, but coming here, it's so much more sunshine and heat. Got that nice crispy tan. If you're pale white, just watch out. It is sunny here, but it rains actually way more here annually than it did in Portland, Oregon. You think Portland, it just rains all the time. It only averages about 30 inches of rain. Here is 49.7, so 50 inches of rain. Well, I've seen like 4-6 inches of that come down at one time. So when it rains here, it freaking rains. It comes down, and I mean, it filled my pool up before, so I didn't have to pay the water bill to fill it up. But, crazy lightning storms, which are kind of fun to watch. But, man, when it rains here, it really rains. And it can flood quickly because you're at sea level and the clay here. But other than that, man, the weather, I love it. I love, just how warm it is, especially throughout, kind of the fall, the spring, the winter. It's just amazing. All right, so let's talk about the thing I absolutely love. When I moved here in 09-10, I got infatuated, in love, absolutely obsessed with smoking barbecue. I went to every convention or every barbecue competition I could find. The Houston Fair and Rodeo is like the 3rd or 4th biggest rodeo in the entire nation. The first week of it is nothing but barbecue competitions, like 700 teams. I even saw Delta Airlines there. They have this like mini 747, and it's a smoker. You're seeing the biggest, baddest smokers you'll ever see. Giant Colt 45 smoker. I mean, it's incredible. I got in love with it, and it didn't matter which group I went and talked to. They all were like, yeah, come on in, man, check out this. This is my recipe. Everybody's got a different one, even though, in the South, usually in Texas here, it's salt and pepper. That's it. But everybody has their different styles, and they love talking about it and teaching it. So I got obsessed with it. Now, if you're moving here with your little silverback, I'm talking about your gas propane barbecue, you might get your house egged. Not literally, but yes, you have to have a smoker here. And so I fell in love with it. It's an absolute passion. But here's the mega pro of that. The meat cost, the cost, and sorry if you're a vegan. There's lots of vegan restaurants and options around here. But for my, barbecue enthusiast and, I don't know, carnivores out there, just like myself and my family, the meat cost. Briskets here can get down to $1.69, $1.99 a pound for prime. Like, unbelievable. I was used to $5 and $6 a pound briskets. I mean, they sell these damn things at the gas station. It seems like they sell them everywhere. I was getting plate ribs, beef ribs for $20. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So the prices here, if you're a barbecue enthusiast or you want to learn, is one of the best you'll ever find. Plus, there's so many freaking barbecue restaurants around here. The Ma and Pasta. I'm talking paper plate, Texas toast. Everything is bigger in Texas. You see the passion coming? Like, that's why we freaking love it down here. I also fell in love with crawfish. Crawfish boils. I used to get them shipped live from Louisiana to North Idaho or to Portland, Oregon, and do these crawfish boils because I fell in love with them so much. So you can go right around to these little seafood stores or even the HEBs and get live crawfish and do boils. But Definitely when you get here, if someone says, hey, we're doing a crawfish boil, or you see some kind of event going on, they're the most delicious little guys ever. And that's what I love, is that Southern culture. Again, everything is around, it's like the old fondue days, but like here, man, it's a barbecue in the backyard, or a garage party, or it's a crawfish boil, or it's just a, hey, everybody's outside hanging. All right, so another big pro that I see here is the master plan communities. I've mentioned them a few times. Let me tell you one thing about it. I've never seen master plan communities from where I'm from, the Northwest. Okay, I've never seen them. It's just big suburbs, right, with maybe a park. Master plan communities are some of the most fantastic things I've ever been in. We flogged so many, and we have so many more to do. But I'm talking like down in Sugar Land alone, there's like 15 master plan communities. You're gonna have all the tennis courts. I've seen some with 100-foot slides. They have lagoons. They got lazy rivers. They got white sandy beaches. They even have golf courses. I mean, everything you need, with all the shopping, all the restaurants. Now, I talked about, some of the suburbs not having all the unique food, but you will find a lot of these master plan communities, especially if you're starting a business. That's the cool thing. You can live in this area and have like a business right in your master plan community. I mean, you can freaking walk to work. So the master plan communities were something that were totally new to me, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I'd like that. But now that, I'm kind of in an older golf one, I'm not particularly in like the splash pad style one with the big clubhouse, but they're amazing. Like, you literally have everything you need close. And you talk about meeting people quick. And what's important about meeting people quick, and why I keep referencing that, is that like when you come here and you got to figure out where, the closest stores are, where the best spots are for food, or, hey, I got to get my kids into sports. How do I do that? Like, you just meet people immediately, and they spark those conversations. And then you get to learn so much faster and adapt to moving down here. I've moved so many times, and I can tell you right away, this is the friendliest place. This is the easiest place to meet people and get the information needed, about the top school areas, about different areas to live, about maybe if you hunt, fish, learning those areas, about different food. People are always open, friendly. They're always inviting you over. Hey, come on over for dinner tonight. Just everything about that is just such a giant pro, and it's what drew us back here to Houston, to the Houston area. And it doesn't matter which area in Houston, they're all amazing. Whether you want acreage, whether you want master plan community, whether you want a condo downtown in the Galleria, that place is amazing. Whether you want to be down on the ocean, it doesn't matter. We cover them all, we do them all, and we are here. We got your back when moving to Houston, Texas. But the only way for us to figure out your lifestyle and what you need, you got to reach out to us. You got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to Houston, Texas. And until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later.